I thought Jake won.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, pretty clean cut, to be honest.
Do you think Tyron's a little gun shy, like in MMA fights?
I don't know if it's gun shy, but he wasn't busy enough. He let the fight kind of get away from him. You know, Jake just kind of outworked him. He never hurt Tyron. He never had Tyron in any damage. Tyron looked dangerous when he exploded and went for it, but it was just too far, too little. You know what I mean? Just like you say, in his last 4 fights in the UFC, that's kind of what he did there. Same again, you know what I mean? He's waiting for the perfect opportunity to land that perfect punch. It's not there. You got to work. You got to find that. You got to create traps, set traps. You know, you got to go forward. Why is he waiting to counter Jake Paul? Jake's coming in as the longer guy. He's using his reach and trying to jab, and that's when Tyron was trying to counter. You can't counter a guy that's taller and longer. You got to get on the inside, cut the cage off, force him in the corner, slip a jab, get on the inside, and knock that motherfucker out. Because that's easy work all day long. I don't know what Tyron's fucking doing.
You think they gotta stop disrespecting MMA boxing now?
Mike,
say again.
You think Tommy Fury should be next then?
I mean, yeah, that'd be a great next fight. Why not fight another fighter of his experience? That said, that's not going to sell a ton of pay-per-views. You know what I mean? So Jake's playing the game well. You know, he is. You know, he's picking off guys with a marquee name that can help sell pay-per-views, that have brand recognition, that are also at the end of their career. Do you know what I mean? It's smart, you know, and to be fair, he's fighting better competition than what he would do if he was a regular boxer. You know what I'm saying? He'd be fighting guys on a losing record. He came here to win tonight, you know, and he lost. And he's going to go home with the I Love Jake Paul tattoo on his ass or wherever it's going to be. But pucker up, baby. Let's go.
He ran around the ring. He backed up the whole time. He didn't win the fight, but it's a business. And he brought out all these fans. He's doing a great thing for boxing. They're going to have a rematch, but Tyron Woodley definitely earned the win tonight in my eyes.
Would you pay to watch a rematch on this one? Because it was a pretty close fight, a split decision. But to see it again,
it was a pretty close fight.
Yeah.
That's pretty what the judges say. It wasn't no close fight to me. I thought Tyron Woodley clearly won, but I came out tonight to support Tyron Woodley, Amanda Serrano, and Montana Love. They all did great to me, and yeah. Would I come back and see it? I love boxing. I'm happy that COVID is lifting and everybody can come together again, but I just come to watch the fights in boxing, so it don't matter if they fight again or not. I still come. Jake Paul's a man.
Yeah, but Tyron's a heavy hitter.
They should be able to take each other punches. And Tyron Woodley really fights at 175. This fight was at 190. So I'm not surprised because Tyron Woodley is an MMA fighter. He throws less punches because he got more tools to use. He was just, you know, now in MMA you get to use elbows, knees. You only get the jab and the right hand in boxing. So he used what he did. He did great to me. And Jake Paul, he withstood his punches, but he lost.
They go out and they deliver this. It looked at points in the fight that under the rules of boxing, I can remember one spot specifically, it looked as though Tyron should have had a 10-8. And I mean pro Tyron, the ref should have jumped in there and given Paul a standing 8 count. Now that's very relevant. If there was a standing 8 count, there is now a signal to the judges of who wins that round, absent of a knockdown and or a standing 8 the opposite direction. That did not happen, which means that round is now up in the air. So when you come down to a split decision, you start to talk about things like this. They're no more than talking points, but it did look like the one biggest shot of the entire fight that was landed from T. Wood was enough under the rules of boxing, which are not open purely for interpretation, that should have been a standing 8, that round should have gone to T. Wood. I don't have the cards in front of me, but that was one talking point. The other side of it was Paul moved very well, and Paul never stopped moving. And even in the short time that we've seen Paul in this sport, we have seen some training. I've always been most impressed with Paul's flinches. Now some of you go, what's a flinch, right? That's like what your buddy would do. Do you know? Remember that old stupid game that the jerk on the playground would do? Then he'd punch you twice and then say something stupid like 2 for flinching. It's still a real thing, even in professional sport. If you can do something and get a reaction from your opponent, but you can't, it doesn't just happen like on the playground. It has to be practiced and it has to be trained. And whether it was against the basketball player or it was against Ben Askren, or even as this shadow boxing footage that I see of Jake Paul, I've always impressed with his ability to get a reaction, with his ability to flinch. only because I know it's not normal, only because I know that comes with hours upon hours, days into weeks, into months, into years in the practice room. And it's one of the few things that I've seen that if he's able to flinch, get a reaction, he spent some time working on it. What is Paul going to do when the fight gets deep? What's he going to do when he's tired? What's he going to do when he's losing minutes, losing exchanges, and there's still a bunch of time left? That's where the fighter comes in. Does Paul have that within him? The general guess would have been no. A more logical guess would be no, followed by how would he? How would he have that in him? He's never done it before. He's never been pressed like this. He's never been in a high pressure situation. He's never been hurt and still has to come out for 3 more rounds. So how would he know how to deal with it? I can't answer that. I guess because he's special. It's the best I got. I have no more analysis for you than that. He's special. There's something about this guy that he can go out and compete, that he can enjoy himself while he's doing it.